Well, everyone, welcome to United Social Television. And the day is for Bruno, guys. Over much, Bruno, over much, we are doing the player ratings, but it's all about Bruno Fernandes. He has really shown the class at Manchester United. And I think each and every time Bruno continues to show this class, Paul Pogba just continues to hide in the shell, because it looks like he came in here and he really took all everything, or each and everything that Pogba used to enjoy at Manchester United. Because look, when you look at Bruno Fernandes, a man that came from Sporting Lisbon to Manchester United in January, by the end of January, and he made his first debut for Manchester United against Wolverhampton, the game that ended 0-0, and he yet appeared into that game of the Premier League where he scored his first goal against Watford, and then he came into, was it against Everton? That's when he scored his first goal for Manchester United. So that is the man known as Bruno Fernandes for you, and that's why in the title I've indicated and said that Bruno Fernandes is exceptional. Who doubts that? I think no one doubts how exceptional Bruno Fernandes is, because trust me, with him in Manchester United, lots of things have changed. You see, he scores unbelievable goals that you don't expect to come in. That's when the man known as Bruno Fernandes comes in and he does the needful for Manchester United. And trust me, yes or no, he's the lad in town. He's the man running Old Trafford. He's the man running Manchester United. And trust me, there is a story that I want me to do, and I would like you guys to come on this live and tell me, who do you think is the captain of Manchester United? To me, I think Bruno Fernandes is the captain of Manchester United. Harry Maguire having the band on his left shoulder does not mean that he's the captain, because each and every role of the captain is done by Bruno Fernandes. Look at look at his means of how he does his stuff. The post-match interviews, whenever he's in the news, he really doesn't let the club down. He looks like he has been at Manchester United for years and years and years. So Bruno Fernandes today doing the unbelievable, scoring a brace, and he had the chance to score a hat-trick, but he left the ball for Marcus Rashford. Remember, Marcus Rashford has now made 5 goals into the Champions League. Remember, he scored his first goal against PSG in our opener of the Champions League in France. He scored a hat-trick against RB Leipzig. Those are 4, and then he has just scored his 5th goal into the Champions League, and he's one of the top scorers I'll speak right about now, apart from Morata has just scored his 6th goal into the group stages, but Marcus Rashford has 5 goals. So that shows you Bruno Fernandes came out and said that I left the penalty for Marcus Rashford because I promised him, after taking a penalty in the game of over West Bromwich, where United won by 1-0. It was a penalty after Juan Mata's cross struck the hand of Fallon, a player of West Bromwich, and the referee pointed into the post. And I'm having Rich Sports in here, and Rich Sports, let me send you the link. I think it's better we do this together. Rich Sports, there is the link. Follow it up, and you're going to be live here on United Social Television. Let's do this show together. Let's do this show together for the very first time. I really want to do this show with Mr. Rich Sports. That's the link. Follow it up and come on here. I want us to do this show together with you, sir, such that we really, hey, Rich Sports, there is the link, and I think follow it up, and I want us to do this show together because a lot of things to discuss about, and I think he's the right person really to come in. But all in all, as it comes on, anyone who wants to come on my live, there is a link that I've just posted into the live chat, and you just follow that link and you'll see yourself here at United Social Television as we touch on these things out. But I hope, all right, you might come on a bit, Mr. Rich Sports, come on a bit, follow the link, follow the link, and come on, such that we really dissect these things. I was still talking about a man known as Bruno Fernandes coming in from Sporting Lisbon at 80 million euros to Manchester United, and he has really changed each and everything. Paul Pogba was the man that we all thought that he is really that lad. All right, how are you?
Hello, Carney. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Great to watch a nice win tonight.
It's a nice win, and I predicted. I myself had said 4-0, but De Gea let me down with the way he failed really to save that goal. How it was, I don't know how he really. I think it was he reading a cross that they are going to cross the ball into his area.
Yeah, no, I was thinking before the game that I'd be happy with any sort of win, and I was predicting 3-0. But I think that throughout the game, I think we did give them quite a few chances to attack us. They did have a few. They hit that shot. They hit the crossbar was unlucky not to be a goal. That was very good. But I thought basically the first half we were fantastic. Second half, I think because we scored so many goals early on that we maybe thought the game was won, made some subs, and we maybe didn't finish as strong, but still a good win.
Yeah. So now we are in this segment. I'm doing the player ratings of Manchester United players, and I was in the title. I put there that Bruno Fernandes exceptional. And do you really believe in me when I say that he's really exceptional, especially in this game? The way he scored, especially the first goal, it showed really to me. It showed me to a player, reminded me of a player like Paul Scholes. Remember, Paul Scholes always came up, he scored goals when you least expect them to, when you least expected him to put the ball in the back of the net. So, and it's rare to see Manchester United getting goals outside the 18 yards area. You get most of our goals are into the 18 yards area, and when you see a goal like that coming from Bruno Fernandes, it really makes a communication how exceptional he is. What do you think about Bruno Fernandes in this match?
Well, I thought this match he was man of the match, even though he went off earlier. That finish was fantastic, like you said. Great finish in the right place at the right time when the keeper dropped it. Easy finish, but yeah, I thought he played fantastic throughout, and he's our most creative player. He's probably the star of the team at the moment, and he didn't let us down. He had a great game. I think maybe his worst game might have been the last time he played Istanbul, but I thought tonight he was fantastic. Like you said, I think he was the star of the show.
All right. So Bruno Fernandes, and I think to myself, I really think. Do you think Paul Pogba is injured? Because there is something I want to connect to Bruno Fernandes' performance, and I think he's coming at Manchester United made the hope of Paul Pogba down and his esteem low to an extent that he's not the player that we really thought he can be when Bruno Fernandes came on. Because all of us were really anticipating after Bruno Fernandes coming on at Manchester United, we are anticipating for a Paul Pogba to really perform to his best because he had a world best player, a world class player around himself. And because all the times we are saying that Paul Pogba is not performing well at Manchester United because playing with Scott McTominay, Nemanja Matic, Freddie, and very many other players. But when Bruno comes in, we thought that the lad is going to really come up to the level that we expect him to be. But instead, it's the vice versa. Because I'm trying to connect this because all it says Pogba is injured. He has an ankle injury. But when I saw the video of Manchester players training ahead of this encounter, Pogba was among the players that trained. So do you think Ole has really kicked out, or Bruno Fernandes has made Ole forget all about Paul Pogba into the Manchester United squad?
I think it's definitely before Bruno Fernandes was signed that Pogba was the main man. So when Pogba was injured, everybody was concerned that we had, like you said, Fred starting and McTominay starting. Whereas now we have Van der Beek coming into the team, looking very good, and we have Bruno obviously playing exceptional most games. So suddenly, Pogba doesn't play, and nobody really minds. Whereas maybe a year ago it'd be a big loss to Manchester United. And I don't know. I think the problem is that there's this expectation of what Pogba will do, and I don't think we ever see. I think people think Pogba is going to dominate every single game. I don't often see that. I think he does have. Maybe it's a problem with. But today, I think Pogba can put some fantastic balls through. He's very good at long range passing. Maybe it's the defensive side of it that sometimes he likes to have a bit more time on the ball. But I don't know. It's like you said, he can be now surrounded with better quality players. But I think maybe he wants to leave. That's kind of my feeling. I don't know. I think because he's been here for 4 years, I think maybe naturally he'd want to go to a different team now. I think that's my thoughts.
Okay, so but for my case, I think he really wants to be in a team where he's the main man, and he can no longer really be the main man at Manchester United, because Bruno Fernandes took that role off because of the way he's performing, because he is really he made the fans of Manchester United to start singing a song of Bruno Bruno. He's like Cristiano Ronaldo. He comes from Sporting Lisbon. You see, he's the darling now. Not that he does a lot of social media stuff as Paul Pogba, that he does a lot of dancing, image rights, and very many other things. Pogba has a lot of news around him and social media numbers and following. But Bruno Fernandes used his talent and his hard work, and he imposed himself in front of Manchester United fans as the most valued, almost like player at Manchester United right now. So, Mr. Rich Sports. Now we head into that segment of the player ratings. I really want you to give me your player ratings as far as this game is concerned of Istanbul. First and foremost, De Gea, out of 10.
I'm trying to think what David De Gea did. He made he made quite a good save that he saw late that was low down to his right. I think that was a decent save. Yes. It's hard to say with the goal. Do you blame him for the goal? I don't know.
I do really, because one thing, when you look at how he was standing in the goal, that's not the position that you can really let us concede such a goal, because it was like in the middle of the goal, and it's each and every time a goalkeeper is standing in the middle of the goal, that means he can dive on either sides very well and get that goal. I think he really delayed to make that dive. I think that's the problem as to why that goal went into. Because if I had made that dive earlier,
apart from that, I don't think he has much to do, does he? I don't think he makes many saves.
He had nothing to do. But on the scale of 10, what's your rating that you give David De Gea?
5 or 6. He made one good save, one he didn't make. So I don't know. What would you say?
All right, I'll also give him 6.
So I'd say I don't think there was much opportunity to have a bad game because there wasn't many shots, but I think he made a very good save early on.
Yes, I think maybe a very good save on the lower bottom pole, on the lower bottom post.
I think 6 is fair. I don't think he had a poor game. I don't think he had an opportunity to maybe make fantastic saves to shine, perhaps.
Also, I'm giving him 6. 6 is not bad. We go to Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Maybe 6 as well. I'm thinking of
Aaron Wan-Bissaka is always in a 6 always, because defensively he's okay. You get, but my problem is, and by the way, whenever he's flowing on that right flank, he flies very well. But his final ball, and in this game, he really never perfected it. His final ball was not all that good. I never saw him by the bringing any cross into the box of Istanbul. But in the game against West Bromwich, when I was doing player ratings, I really gave him like, was it 7 or 8? Because this time around, the first time I saw Aaron Wan-Bissaka in a game bringing in 3 crosses and they were perfect into the box of the opponent. And this is the first time I saw him doing it. You get? But this time around, I never saw him doing it. But defensively, he was okay. So I'm giving him a 5. 5 is average. I'm giving him a 5. 5, and he was taken off. He never played 90 minutes, but I'm giving him a 5. Alex Telles.
I think better than Wan-Bissaka, definitely, because did he put the cross in that led to the second goal? 2
crosses. He brought in the first goal. It was a corner. He brought in a corner, and the defender was Scartel, brushed it, and it landed to the foot of Bruno Fernandes. And Bruno Fernandes put in that heavy volley, and it went in the back of the net.
So I think in these games, he's putting the ball into the box a lot. I think he's definitely going to get quite a lot of assists over the course of the season if he gets a lot of games. I think maybe give him a 7. I think he's one of the better players.
Yes, and before I rate him, there is a man called Statman Dave. This is what he said about Alex Telles' game by numbers versus Istanbul. He says the man put in 11 crosses attempted, 4 crosses completed, 4 chances created, 2 clearances, 2 out of 2 tackles. That's what he said. And he went ahead to say there is something that really shocked me. That no Manchester United player has created more chances in the Champions League so far this season than Alex Telles. He has created 7. He has played 157 of a possible 360
he hasn't
minutes.
Played many games either. He's only played less than 2 games.
So for me, I think you've given him 7. You say it's 7 out of 10. I'm giving him I'm giving him 7 also. Yes, 7, because I think if he was released a lot more earlier in most of the game, he would have brought in very perfect crosses. And I think this game, the game we're going to play against PSG and Southampton, I think the game plan we are going to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer might build his game plan on Alex Telles, because the way he moves on that line, as you saw how Luke Shaw perfected the last 2 games he played, that of Istanbul and Everton. You saw what he did. So I think Ole is now opting, because he does not have wingers, he's opting to having a full back who can really create chances for his forwards to score. What do you think about that?
No, I think definitely he's going to get a lot of assists, because I think the criticism of Luke Shaw was that maybe he was slightly better defending than Telles, but in terms of crossing, often picked out the wrong cross. Telles seems to have a definite knack of getting the ball in the right area. I think he put in quite a good cross that Maguire didn't make the most of. And it was quite a nice area where it's swinging out, so the keeper can't really come and get it, but it lands kind of heading towards the penalty area. Just a nice position for someone to run in and head it. So I think he's only played a few games. I think everyone's quite impressed with how he started, because obviously he hasn't played with the team much because he had that COVID-19 test. So give him a few more games, and I think the understanding will get even better. So the players will start expecting him to put crosses in, so then there'll be more people attacking his crosses. I think it'll definitely make us less one-dimensional going forward, because we have the option for putting in some quality crosses, as well as having Rashford, Greenwood, Martial. All those players are great running position. So I think it makes us more dangerous, definitely.
True. And I think in the next games, if Madrid affects his position very well and gets used to playing with other players of Manchester United, I think he's going to turn in another Bruno, but another Bruno who comes in from the left side, because he's this player who will whip on a nice corner. He's good in his corners are, by the way, on point, most of the corners. It's very hard to see a goalkeeper punching his corners that he brings in, because he carries them moving outside. It's hard for keepers really to.
I think the keeper's not wanting to come out because the ball's swinging out, and it's great because his corners are causing issues. Definitely, they're not easy to defend. They're not easy for the keeper or the defenders, and they're just where people like Cavani are going to want these. So it's going to be quite good. I think once he gets a few more games, I think get some understanding with the forward players, and it's going to be very good.
All right, let's go into the central defenders. There is Lindelof.
Yeah, it's difficult to say. Lindelof only played half the game, didn't he? I think he did okay when he was on.
He was okay. He was really okay. He was okay. And there is something that I'm really trying to understand more of these days. It looks like by the time Harry Maguire came in, it looked like Harry Maguire had made our defense comfortable, at least with the ball. And our problem was with the pace. Like if at all a team has pacey forwards, it can beat us on the break and really overspeed or overtake Harry Maguire and Lindelof. But nowadays it's the reverse. When Lindelof is out, you see Harry Maguire fidgeting. I don't know why. It's like Maguire's mind is not yet back to the pitch. What do you think about Maguire?
Again, I think the defensive players did okay. I mean, I don't think we're playing against the top quality opposition in Istanbul, so I don't think they're going to score particularly high. I mean, what was your opinion? What would you give them as a rating? So I'm thinking it's
Harry Maguire. I'm giving him a 5.
I'd say seems fair. I think that they did towards the end of the second half. Definitely Istanbul started looking a bit better than us at one point for maybe 15-20 minutes before we got that fourth goal. So I'd say maybe 5. Maybe I think Lindelof was maybe slightly better. Not a 6.
Lindelof a 6. I'm giving Lindelof a 6.
I think he was better, but obviously he only played the first half. So
and Tuanzebe, who came in the second half.
I don't know, maybe 5. I mean, we didn't play as well in the second half. I think that's not necessarily a reflection on him. I think it's maybe a reflection of the whole team. We gave the ball away more.
What is wrong with Tuanzebe playing with Harry Maguire? Even I saw two moments into the box when they were like colliding, and if it was not De Gea coming out hurriedly to really kick that ball to go out, I think Dembaba would have finished us and they would have scored a second goal into this game. So what do you think about that?
I think it's just Tuanzebe, I think he needs to get more games, obviously, to build up some sort of understanding. He has looked quite good with Lindelof, but
Yes, he does.
hasn't had many games. So I think it's obviously his strength is that he's a lot faster, and I think maybe with Lindelof does take up quite a good position sometimes. And I don't know. I think it's definitely something that they need to play a consistent back line a bit more. Maybe if he's playing with Maguire for a few games in a row, enough to build up some sort of understanding. Because at the moment he plays so infrequently that that's probably the problem. They're just not used to playing with each other at the moment.
I'm giving Tuanzebe a 5 also, because apart from that, I think you see the problem Harry Maguire is having is he's the captain, but he does not act like he's the captain on the pitch. I don't see him talk to his fellow players. I see he's like a dumb man. He does not talk. You just see Bruno doing each and everything. You get so, and I think he should be, because when a senior player is playing with a young player like Tuanzebe, we expect Tuanzebe not to play in your space, because you always tell him that Tuanzebe, you play on the right, I'm playing on the left. You get, but they, even in the game of Istanbul that we lost, they found themselves colliding. It's like there is a miscommunication between those players. And I think for such a blame, I cannot carry that blame to Tuanzebe, because it's a blame carried to the captain, who is the same man in the center of our defense. And he's responsible for each and everything. And he does not talk, he does not command a lot. So to me, I think Tuanzebe is really a good player, but
yeah,
Harry Maguire has failed to really command this player to play his role, to play in another position where Harry Maguire is not playing. Because today I saw them collide twice, and moreover into the 18 yards box area of Manchester United. You get, so as people say the captaincy is doing bad to Harry Maguire and so on and so forth, but I think he should work on his talking, because he's too dumb. He's too dumb. He has to be outspoken onto that pitch. He has to show that I'm the leader.
No, I think that there's a case, isn't there, to be made that Bruno Fernandes is the natural leader of that team. I think we see it on the pitch.
Yes, that's true.
I don't see, like you said, you expect more experienced players to be guiding the younger players, because we've got quite a young team. We have, which I think we see from Cavani is definitely going to be a good role model for players like Greenwood, Rashford, even Martial.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't really have the experienced, very high quality defender that maybe we've had in the past. So Maguire's having his own struggles with form. So maybe he's not the best person to be captain or guiding Tuanzebe. Whereas maybe in the past you'd have Ferdinand or Vidic, or you'd have Bruce or someone that's more experienced, that is a lot more competent. But I think perhaps that's the issue, that we have had problems defensively, and organisation is one of those reasons.
All right. Now we have given Maguire 5. I gave Tuanzebe 5, and you gave him how much?
I think
how many out of 10?
I think the same, based on same reasons.
We agreed on Lindelof. I gave him a 6, and you also gave him a 6. Victor Lindelof. Now we go to Freddie. And there is something before you talk about Freddie that I've just got to know, that all the games Freddie has played for Manchester United this season, he has started close to 10 games, and the only game we've lost is that of Arsenal.
Okay.
He started his first game this season against Luton Town. We won 3-0. Brighton, we won 3-0. That was I think that was Carabao Cup. He played the game against Newcastle. We won 4-1. He played against, yes.
What I say about Fred is that every performance we have where people talk about Bruno being man of the match, usually Fred is the second person they talk about in terms of being. I think he's been probably our most consistent player for a while now.
True. Because for me, in this game I'm giving him, though in this game I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. To me, according to me, I'm giving him a 7 out of 10, because there is something he has been doing for the previous 2-3 games. His final ball is trying to improve, especially the through ball to the forwards of Manchester United. You see him doing that more often in the previous games we've been playing. But in this game, he was too deep. I think Ole told him that because you're playing with Danny Van Beek, who is better than you going forward, it's better to not. not do a lot of attacking, do a lot of the defensive job, and let Danny Van Beek do that. So for me, I'm giving him a 7 out of 10.
I think I would give him a 6 for this game. I think he did well. I think the issue was there was a few opportunities where he could have hit a longer pass quicker, where Tellez was open. Just little things. Like I think that, like you said, with Bruno Fernandes and Van der Beek playing quite aggressively forward, that he had a slightly different role, a bit deeper tonight, and maybe it doesn't necessarily suit Fred. I think he played well, but I think other players in the team were better tonight. I think there was definitely a few times where maybe he wasn't confident enough to hit the long passes to the wing, where maybe he could have been a bit braver, because we were, particularly when we were on top. I think overall that's not really a criticism.
You're giving him a 6, so I'm giving him a 7. All right. And Danny Van Beek?
I think I would give him. It's difficult because in the first half, definitely 7. Towards the second half, his level did drop a bit. There was a few misplaced passes. I think the whole team dropped a bit. Maybe 7 overall. I mean, I think he did play quite well.
But did you watch that pass that he gave to when he released Greenwood in the fourth goal that Manchester United scored? The fourth pass when Cavani played back the ball to him and then he released Greenwood and Greenwood passed the ball to Daniel James and Daniel James back in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think he does well. I think he's one of these players that maybe he hasn't got the passing range of Pogba, but he's definitely intelligent. So he knows, like you said.
To me, I say that his first touch, he's the player, he has the best touch at Manchester United. He's the player with the best touch at Manchester United.
I think tonight
the best first touch. When you look at the first touch of the players of Manchester United, when he's receiving the ball, that touch, his first touch. And do you know that he's the player that I've seen in this modern era who does not make a lot of touches in the center or on the pitch? He releases the ball quickly. He does quick releases, and even though there are very many players, he already has a thought in his mind that I'm supposed to be doing this, and he releases it very easily.
You see that as soon as he passes the ball, he's run into a different position, and I think that creates opportunities for attack where there's constant movement. I think you see that where one of the things I quite like about him is you see him get the ball, like you said, 2 touches, passes it quickly, then he's pointing where he wants it or pointing to other people. There's always, like you said about Maguire, with Van der Beek, it's completely different. You see him talking, pointing, and you can see that building up communication and building up understanding quite quickly with him, because he's telling you what he wants when he wants it, and definitely impressed with him. So I think that overall, the more we see of him, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
True, and I think the more you'll be on that pitch, he's going to cause more questions to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That why do you start Scott McTominay ahead of Danny Van Beek? Because you can not start Danny Van Beek, but I don't see even if a team is like Arsenal, Chelsea, or Man City, or playing Barcelona, I think Danny Van Beek needs to start because he gives you a lot. He has the work rate.
Yeah.
He will defend. His tackles are very good. He's good at tackling and stealing that ball in the midfield. And when we are going forward, he has that pass. Do you remember that pass he gave to Bruno Fernandes? And Bruno Fernandes did a flick with Edson Cavani, the goal that Marcus Rashford scored, and it was ruled out because Marcus was offside.
Oh yeah, that was a beautiful move. Absolutely fantastic.
You saw he's the one who started that move. A long pass to Bruno. Bruno does a flick to Edson Cavani. Cavani brings back the flick to I think to Bruno. Then Bruno does a through pass to Marcus Rashford, and Marcus Rashford scores, but all is in vain because he's offside. So I think Danny Van Beek is a player that Solskjaer is here to understand that he's supposed to be a starter into that game, and the only question will be left on who to bench, either Scott McTominay or Freddie. But at the level of things, I think Scott McTominay will have to go to the bench because Freddie has already marked his place or confirmed his place into the starting level of Manchester United.
I hope so. I don't think there's any quality you can pick in McTominay that Van der Beek doesn't have at a higher level. Like I said, work rate, he has that. Intelligence, definitely.
And I'm
positional.
just and I'm just praying that the God that came over Ole on his head today as we played the team of Istanbul does the same when I'm playing a team known as Southampton, and he really puts Danny Van Beek onto that pitch. Let him try that system on Southampton, because Southampton is a team that is not going to sit back. It's going to attack us. You know that. Okay? They won't sit
I think
back.
it's a tough game.
So I think if at all you have Danny Van Beek, Freddie, Bruno Fernandes on the pitch, I think they can break this team down, because Danny Van Beek with Bruno Fernandes, that combination is really going to cause havoc to many of the teams. That was, I think. And for me, I'm giving Danny Van Beek also a 7 out of 10 into this game of Manchester United versus. I agree with you. Then we go to Bruno Fernandes.
I think. Do you have a mark for Bruno Fernandes? I'm trying. How long did he play for tonight?
He never played a full match.
Bruno Fernandes.
For me, I'm giving him an 8.
I was going to say at least an 8. I think maybe 8 because he played. Yeah, he played just less than an hour, 59 minutes. But he basically was everything, wasn't he? The 2 goals, could have easily got the penalty, taken the penalty and got a hat trick. And I think 8. If he'd have stayed on the whole match and we'd played the same level throughout the whole game, he'd have probably been getting like a 9. But I think 8 is a good mark. I think he played for an hour. We looked very good when he was on the pitch. He basically won the game and then went off for some rest to bring him back for Southampton, I think.
All right. So for me, I'm giving him an 8. You're also giving him an 8?
Definitely an 8.
All right. Now we go to Marcus Rashford.
As Rashford, as we just talked about, it's such a shame that goal wasn't onside.
If it was not offside, if it was onside.
It's such a shame because it was such a nice move. It's such a nice team goal. And
yes, it was a team goal.
The run that he got, where he got the penalty, that was great, and obviously very intelligent to just let the defender foul him, get the penalty. But no, I think there's a few times where he ran in the box and his close control was amazing. He looked very sharp. I think he was certainly in the first half playing very well, and the penalty was very good. Got fouled for the penalty. I'm lucky not to score another goal. I'm going to give him a 7. I think it's one of his better games.
Yes, I'm also going to give him a 7 because, and remember, he was responsible for the first threat of Manchester United to the Istanbul goal. I think in the first 2 minutes of the game. Remember that run that he did when Bruno played him in, and he really carried the ball. He beat close to 3 defenders, and because of the last shot, it never had power to be in the back of the net. It was really powerless. That's why it never went to the. But I saw him take off defenders and he went into the box. The confidence that is developing, I think he's improving each and every game. And do you remember the game we played against PSG? Rashford would have got close to 2 penalties. If at all he behaved like he behaved today, as he behaved when we got that penalty, because I think who released him? I think Bruno released him once, and another player released him. And instead of running to really calm down and put himself into the running defender, he just shot the ball. He never even controlled it, because I thought he would have controlled the ball ease a bit, and the defender Kimpembe would have come and rushed into him because he was all ready to rush into the boy, and it would have been a penalty. But seeing him doing it to this game, I see to it that I think he sits back and watches the games he plays, and he knows now each and every time I do this, I should really do this, not the other one. Because in the game of PSG, he would have been able to get us a penalty if at all he did what he just did today to this game. But I think he's developing.
I think that's one of the reasons we get so many penalties. We have Rashford, Martial, Greenwood are 3 players that are quite hard to stop once they get going. And because they're running in the box at pace, then also if the ball hits somebody's hand when they're putting crosses in, there's penalties as well. But I think that they're very dangerous, so exciting players to have in your team.
All right. We go to Anton Martial.
How do you rate Martial tonight?
To me, he's not that. He has still not gotten to where I think Anton Martial is, because he did well. He did a lot of runs, by the way, in the first half, going into the box, runs. But I think him playing with Cavani, playing forward, I think they've not yet connected very well with Cavani, because I think if at all Marcus Rashford was playing with Anton Martial into this game and Cavani was not in, I think United would have scored close to 5 goals into the first half, because the way Martial and Bruno Fernandes, and Marcus Rashford understand one another. But when you look at how they're playing with Cavani is not a fast player because of his age. He used to be a fast player, but because of his age, his speed is now low. Now these players, each and every time he gets the ball, he thinks that Cavani is already there, and Cavani is not yet there, and that's why he really saw himself trying to take off very many players. But if at all it was Rashford or Bruno in front of him, he would have done it faster, 1-2, and then they move. But to me, I think I'm going to give him a 6. That's what I can give him, because that's not the Martial I know. Because Martial is a way talented player.
Yeah,
he has to do lots of things, and I'm giving him a 6.
We've seen some extremely good performances when he got his hat trick, and when some of the finishes. And I think he was better than he was against West Brom, but I would say a 6 is a fair mark. He wasn't as good as Rashford today, but he wasn't poor. He was
against West Brom. There is something I noted, that when Anton Martial came on at Manchester United under the era of Louis van Gaal, he was this player. When he got a keeper to beat, we even jubilated before he even put the ball or hit the ball in the back of the, because we knew Anton Martial doesn't miss a keeper to beat. But seeing him into the semi-final of Europa, you remember the 2 keeper to beats that he missed against Sevilla, and seeing him into this encounter against West Bromwich, missing the same keeper to beat, it really put questions on Martial and say, what's wrong with the blood? Because those are goals that he easily scored for fun, and he no longer scores them for fun. I don't know why. Is it a lot of pressure mounting on him? I don't know why.
It's tricky, isn't it? Because the end of last season, if you discount the Europa League, he seemed to hit a run of form. He seemed to be playing as well as we've seen for a while. So it's tricky, isn't it? I don't know. Hopefully it'll come back, because like you said, he was putting those chances away easily not that long ago.
But I think he just needs to really score a goal in the Premier League, because he has 2 in the Champions League. He has 2 goals in the Champions League. I think he really needs to score a goal like against a team like Southampton. Then he goes on a run like 3 or 4 games. Because the good thing with him, if at all he score a goal in the Premier League like against Southampton, you know that in the next 3 games, be assured of his goal. That's the good thing with him.
Yeah, no, sure, I agree.
All right. So I'm giving him a 6 with upgrade. And now we go to Edson Cavani.
That's tricky. I think I might say 6 for Cavani. I saw some nice things from Cavani, but he didn't have that many chances, did he? So he had one chance where you'd expect him to finish it, and maybe he didn't. He could have taken it a bit earlier on his left, but then he cut back on his right. It was deflected over. He looks like he can be a useful player. Like we saw the finish against Everton. I think if he gets some clear-cut chances, he'll definitely take them. And I think sometimes he's definitely better than, say, Zigala in terms of, like, I think he's good at holding the ball up. He's not going to be the same sort of player as Rashford. I think when he builds up an understanding with Telles, I think that might where we see the best from Cavani. I think he's definitely makes our squad better overall.
True.
He hasn't had a game. This is his first start, isn't it, for Manchester United? So I think definitely in the link-up play, he was part of the reason why we're playing very well in the first half. And I think that overall, I was giving him a 6 because he didn't do anything that was exceptional. He just played wasn't as good as Bruno. Well, I don't think it's as good as Rashford, but that's kind of my assessment.
All right, and one of the things I really want to really talk about him is not about him. That the second goal for Bruno Fernandes. I think the reason as to why even the goalkeeper really got sighted out of that ball was his jump. The way he jumped into that ball, however much he never reached it. I think by the time he was going down, by the time he went up, the keeper I think lost the side to the ball, and that's why when it was going down, the goalkeeper really felt really to hold it into his hands, because I was wondering why really a goalkeeper would really fail to hold such a ball, because it never had a lot of energy, but found himself touching it and not, and then leaving it and bounced it down, and then Bruno.
Someone like Cavani running and jumping in the way can distract. Sometimes you see that with defenders, don't you, where the defender puts off the striker, but they don't get the ball, but they run and jump, just miss the ball, and the striker doesn't think the ball's coming. But it's the sort of thing that, you know, it's a good cross put in, and you see Cavani attacking the cross, so it's definitely contributing towards. There's something we haven't seen before. We don't really see players running and attacking the ball. I know Bruno scored a header against Everton, but it's not usually a Manchester United tactic. So,
true. Yeah. And when you look at the way he makes those runs into the box, his runs are really, really, really nice. It shows you that he can create space for these other players of Manchester United really to enjoy. So I think if at all he's really given more games to start, and if at all Ole trusts those three, that I can use Anton Martial, Edson Cavani, and Marcus Rashford to start in my games, I think they'll really be a threat, because today I really saw Marcus Rashford really play well on the right wing. He was really looking nice. So I think if at all Ole gives them more chances to play together, I think they're really going to get.
Because then you can see that someone Rashford on the left wing, but also maybe Aaron Wan-Bissaka can link up a bit more with Rashford. But I think, like you said, one thing I like about Cavani is that I think he's a handful for defenders. They're always wary when Cavani's there. They don't want to let him drift off. So that definitely frees up space for both wings. And you have Martial and Rashford. Their strength is in running at defenders. They're very fast. So when Cavani holds the defenders back because they don't want to go too far away from him, that does create space for Rashford and Martial, which I think makes it a more interesting attack, because there's more of a threat. Before, when you didn't have Cavani, they were just basically waiting for Rashford and Martial to try and run through them. Whereas now they've got Cavani there as well. That definitely, I saw an improvement from Rashford tonight, and I saw Martial looked more comfortable with Cavani up front instead of himself up front. So yeah, I think it's one of these things that you can't really say that he played exceptional, but it contributed towards the team looking better and looking like it worked better as an attacking unit.
Now I look like we really want to sum up this video. Now we are going to do the chap of these other people, these other players that we have really brought in. One, Mason Greenwood.
I think Greenwood, it looked like he was desperate to score, because there was a couple of times where he didn't pass to Williams when he could have, because Brendan Williams was in the way. And so maybe that's the experience where he wasn't looking up. He was just really, really wanted to score. You could tell that but at the end of the game, it was a nice pass to James to finish the game. So
that can make us forget all the bad acts that he did, instead of releasing other players, and really he looked selfish.
Yeah,
but he really
selfish. Maybe understandable, because he's young and he gets judged on goal. He hasn't played for a few games, so maybe a 6. He didn't play very long, did he?
I'm giving him a 5. I'm giving him a 5. For me, I'm giving him a 5, because I think we expect more from Greenwood, and I think he should really start forgetting that he should be a goal scorer. Even putting up assists is something good, because the more you do assists, I think a person who does assists is more beneficial to a team than a person who scores, because teams look for players who really make assists, because it's hard to find a player who makes close to 10 assists into a season. You get? So if at all, Mason should know that. Yes?
I think the Everton game, you saw that from Bruno, where he set up Cavani for a much easier chance, where
and he would have banged it inside himself, because he would have curled it on the far left, and he would have gone inside, because the goalkeeper was out of the goal and he was seeing it. He was seeing the entire goal area. But he said
sometimes Greenwood, there hasn't been the pass on, but in that instance there was definitely a better option than trying to score, because there wasn't much angle, there were defenders in his way. Williams was open, so in that instance he made the wrong decision. But when he was when James was there for the pass, that was pretty much a no-brainer. The pass was on; he had to do, and he did that well. So, yeah, it could be better, but
all right. Then we go to Williams, Brandon. I think for me, to my case, I think he had a nice game. He really came up and he really did a very good. He did good defensively, and even coming in front, he looked great. And to me, I'm going to give him a 6. To me, I'm giving Brandon a 6. I don't know how much I'm going to give Brandon because the time he has spent without playing, because he has not been having enough game time, but the coach brings him into this one and really never disappoints.
no, I think maybe a 6 as well. That quite often he usually is replacing Shaw, but this time he replaced Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
I think maybe more naturally because he's right-footed. But I'd say 6. He hasn't played for a long time either, as well. So I think a good idea to rest some players because we've got a lot of games coming up, and also give Williams a game, give James a game. Players that haven't played for quite a while for Manchester United, because they're going to have to play some games at some point because there'll be a lot of fixtures, and maybe bring them on when the game's already won or close to being won. So.
All right, so we have a grade on him 6 out of 10, and we go to Daniel James.
I think James did well when he came on. I know some people don't like James, but I think that what he showed was that just before he scored, he beat a defender and tried to put him in position. But also, when he got his goal, when you see the camera angle from the side, he leaves the defender completely gone. He just runs past him, and there's no one near him at all when he scores. It was a perfect time run, extremely fast. He just took his chance perfectly. I think he did well. I think when he came on, a lot of the other players weren't playing great, so I don't think he got particularly much service. I didn't see him give the ball away. I didn't see him do anything too bad. I think he was quite accurate in his passing, and when he had a couple of chances, he made a run, put across a ball, and when he had his chance, he took his chance. I think he played quite well.
For me, I'm giving him a 6 because scoring his first goal of the season, isn't it? Has he scored any goal this season? This is the first goal for Daniel James. Has he scored any goal?
Many games either.
I think this is his first goal. So for a person like him, scoring his first goal this season, yet the other season he really started up on fire, scoring close to 4 or 5 goals in 6-7 games of Manchester United that he's really started.
He's one of these players that you want to see get a goal, maybe to kickstart his confidence, because I watched in the international break and he played extremely well for Wales. He
really banged in a goal also. I watched him play and he really scored that goal. It was nice. But the problem is, I think Ole really has just one thing to do to Daniel James to really get to a level that he wants him. It's his final ball. Especially, he makes nice runs with the ball, but he runs out of ideas when he really reaches or finds a forest of legs around him. So that's the only problem I've seen with him.
I think a lot of the time, that because his main quality is pace, sometimes he's playing in games where teams defend and don't give him any space. Whereas when he came on today, because we were winning and Istanbul had to go for it a bit, there was a lot of space available, and you saw his strength, that when he's got some space to run into, it's fantastic. And we know that the finishing ability is there, that when he scored a great goal for Wales, he got a really good assist as well in that game. So there's definitely, it's kind of tricky whether how many games he gets. If he gets games, it definitely needs to be in games that are suited to him, in a position that suits how he plays. But also there's options. I know Leeds and Everton both want to take him on loan, so it's possible they might loan him out. It depends. But also, I don't think we have a massively deep squad, so it might be that.
I think he's going to be at Manchester United. He's not going to be loaned, because he even said that I don't want to be loaned. I'm here to fight for my position. I think there is something hidden that really Solskjaer sees in that young lad. And I think with time, he'll really mature into a level that the moment he really perfects his final ball, and really knows that when I'm running, I should really cut outside or inside. When do I shoot? When do I release? When do I pass back?
Making, isn't it? Is that a lot of young players don't necessarily have that, and that comes with experience. Like Greenwood will develop experience. I think Van der Beek has decision making very high level at a young age, and I think that's coming through Ajax. Extremely good place to develop players. And I think James is one of these players that I think that I'm reserving judgment. Let's see how he does this year, if he gets some games. I think that he'll need to improve to get more games, but also it's a bit like Van der Beek. Once you get a chance, you've just got to show what you can do, because it'll be quite difficult to get a place in the. Because whatever you say about the defence, Manchester United have got quite a strong attacking lineup. So you see at Rashford, and you got Greenwood and Martial. They're all players that it's going to be hard for Dan James to get ahead of. But in terms of squad players, I think he definitely is an option in some games. So it'd be interesting. But also because teams want to loan him, like Leeds and Everton, there's definitely something there that they see as well. That there's some players that Manchester United might want to get rid of that other teams aren't after, but teams are definitely interested in James. So I think that's a plus point, that there's definitely something that a few players see, and we do see it on an international level. So there is a player in there. It's strange that you see a player doing better for international team than for the club team, because usually it's harder to play on it, but we'll see. Good game today though.
All right. I'm giving him a 5. I told him 6. I'm giving him a 6 because he scored.
Because it was difficult for him to get too much more, because there wasn't much opportunity, I think.
All right. The only player left is Nemanja Matic. He came on at the right time when the team really needed him, because the way Istanbul was really breaking us down and really putting our defense or exposing our defense was really high. And no sooner did he come in than all those runs and attacks really were really calmed down. Or it was like the coming of Nemanja Matic really, he came with the water, ice, and poured it on the fire of Istanbul, and they all went cold, and they never really acted again to attack Manchester United as it is and as it was before. And to do that, there is a pass that I really liked about Nemanja Matic. He doesn't really do those passes, but today he really did that pass to Edson Cavani. That Edson Cavani passed back to Danny Van Beek. Danny Van Beek releases Mason Greenwood, and Mason Greenwood really passes into Daniel James, and it's a goal. So that pass really, I'm really asking myself, why doesn't he do that regularly? Because in most parts of the game, you see, he passes on the sides. He does not do those direct passes. But today, I don't know what came on him, and he really did it, and it produced the 4th goal of Manchester United.
I think good right substitution at the right time, and I would give him a 6. I think he only played 8 minutes, but he did nothing wrong. Like I said, gave that pass. I think, yeah, sometimes I'm critical of Solskjaer's substitutions, but today I think it was the right thing. Take a few players off to save a few players. It's more important that Bruno Fernandes is fit to play against Southampton. So I think I was happy with that, and I think he did well.
All right, I'm also giving him a 6 here. So, Richie, thank you for watching in. So, the last person we are really working upon is none other than the manager of Manchester United, and that is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm giving him 8. Yes, I'm giving him 8 because one. That's why I'm giving him an 8 is 1. He brought a squad that I thought we were really urging to see. He really brought most of the attacking players. When you look at the entire team, the only player that looked to be defensive is Freddie. And in actual sense, Freddie is not all that defensive. Just have to tell them that don't play a lot of an attacking role. But he really brought the rest: Danny Van Beek, Bruno Fernandes, Anton Martial, Edson Cavani, Marcus Rashford, 5 attack-minded players on the pitch. So I really credit him for that, to an extent that I think he has reached an extent and now he knows that Bruno Fernandes can play with Dan Van Beek on the same field. That's the second reason as to why I'm really giving him an 8. Him putting it in his mind and accepting that Bruno and Danny Van Beek can be on the same pitch. So if at all that sinks into him, I think we are going to get more results courtesy of those two players being on the pitch, because they can really create space where it's not. They have a nice work rate. And Danny Van Beek, when he reaches scoring positions, can really bang in a goal for Manchester United. You get?
Yeah.
So for them giving him an 8 out of 10, the substitutions, he was on point. And this time round, have you noticed that the previous 2 games of Manchester United, from the game of Everton, West Bromwich, and the game of Istanbul, Solskjaer gets off his seat and really comes on the touchline and really starts to command players. You get?
Yeah.
But the other games, even if we are losing, he used even to sit and lets Michael Phelan to go in and stand in there. But this time round, Ole comes in by himself and stands on the touchline for close to 70 minutes. So I think that's really good. That's really good.
Yeah, I agree, because I was hoping to see Van der Beek starting and have Cavani playing up front. Obviously, I wouldn't be too concerned whether Rashford started or Greenwood started, but I wanted to have Cavani up front, have 2 out of maybe Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, 2 of those playing, have Van der Beek playing. I mean, not Matic or Mata, and I think Bruno obviously, and Fred. I think that's basically the team I wanted to see. The only change I would have probably made is to have Tuanzebe starting, and I didn't know if Lindelof was actually fit. I thought he was a bit injured before the game, so I was thinking Maguire and Tuanzebe. But I would, if Lindelof was fit, then I'd be quite happy to see Tuanzebe with Lindelof. I think that works well. So apart from, I think like starting 11, when I saw the starting 11, I was like, okay, great. That's kind of what I wanted to see. And formation and attacking, that's what I wanted to see. The team played very well. I was expecting it to not be as good when we made quite a few substitutions, but I think they were made not with this game in mind. Obviously, that's a Southampton game. This is going to be quite a tough game. And when it started to look a bit like it might go wrong a bit, when they hit the crossbar, it was 3-1. He brought on Matic.
Really threatening.
So I think,
and he brings in Matic.
I think a lot of credit with the substitutions, and yeah, very, very good. So a good day for everybody, really. And also nice to see James score because he's under pressure a bit, but also nice to see Greenwood as well playing because he's not been in the team for a while. So quite a lot of positives to take out of the game.
All right, all the subscribers of United Street Television, he's my friend Richie Sports. I'm always on his other side there, though sometimes I get there late, but I really try to get earlier the next time he's on the stream and endeavor to look for his channel. It's called Richie Sports. You can go there and subscribe. He does 100% Manchester United content, and we're always there to really dissect matters of Manchester United. There is my friend called Sean of, is it the Red Worldwide Show? There is Red Devil Studio, there is Red Devil Weekly, and very many other people in there. And we're always there. It's always fun, guys. And Rich Sports, I would like you to say your last comment or anything about.
Hey, Rakani, you've been on my channel twice, I think. And like I said, it's great fun. So thanks. I saw your tweet and I thought I'd come on and speak. Come and have a chat to you because I think you invited me last week, and I thought I'll come and speak to you. And it's been a great day for Manchester United fans. I'm going to probably do a little video later on and put it on as like a little match report, because it's quite nice to talk about these good wins as well as talk about the disappointing wins. So probably the best day for Solskjaer for a while in terms of how he structured the team, how we played attacking football, which you want to see, and it's great to see that. And anybody watching this back, make sure you give Rakani a subscription. Make sure you give the video a like. And please check out my channel. I'll be uploading as much content as I can. Sort of match previews, reports on games, mostly Manchester United content. And let's hope we can keep winning. I think Southampton is such a big game now. If we win that, I think people will start believing again. It'll be quite a nice run we're building.
I think we're going to win it.
I hope so. It's going to be tough.
We have all the guns. With Danny Ings out, because Danny Ings is out. I don't know when he'll come back, but he's out. He was injured.
Okay.
He's
No,
out. And secondly, when you look at Manchester United, our form is really up there. And I think Southampton, however hard it's going to be, I think United is really going to go there. And it is Manchester United can even put 3 goals past Southampton, trust me. Although I expect them at least to score like 1 goal past us, they might really do that because they are really good when it comes to going forward. But I think we can really use their weakness because they also concede a lot of goals when I look at their statistics. And I think if at all someone can get out Oriol Romeu, that lad who plays into the defensive midfield of Southampton. But I think if at all Danny Van Beek starts with Bruno Fernandes, I think we'll be sorted because these are players that don't use a lot of energy. They're not the Scott McTominays of this world. They're players who really use their brains to let the ball move. So I think Ole should get the right calculation for this game. And I think, for me, I think we're going to win. If at all, because you can't tell me that Southampton is a better team than Everton. If at all we went ahead at Everton, Goodson Park, and we got 3 points, and we won comfortably, by the way, because we even missed a lot of chances that would have made that. So. Yeah. So I think if United can take the same charisma it took to Goodson Park to Southampton, St. Mary's Stadium, United is going to get a win from there. And trust me, when I look at things, the only game we might draw is the game of PSG. That's the only game I see that is hard for us. But the rest of the games, including West Ham, Man City in there, Leeds in there, I see them as sure wins for Manchester United because each and every time players continue to play, I see a lot of combination trying to come up with players and self-belief is coming in. And we just need to see to it that Martial starts to score, Rashford continues, Bruno does the same, the Dan Van Beeks also come into the mix. We would like to see Telles really creating in more assists and very many other players. Harry Maguire putting in more corners, even though he does not score, but let him head those balls and they'll target. Then we know that at least if all goes bad, at least Harry Maguire will get a corner, Telles will bring it in, and Harry Maguire will save the team. So that's what I think. I think we are going to win against Southampton. And so. I'll come. I don't know when I'm going to do the preview for that game. I'll be on your live and I'll come and I'll give my reasons as to why I think we are going to beat Southampton this time. They've never beaten it before in the era of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Okay. Thanks for having me on, Rakani. It's been fun.
All right. I can now say bye-bye. You are in the US? Which country?
UK.
UK now, I think it's coming to, here it's coming to 4, that means there it's coming to 2, right? Or it's already 2?
Time, do you mean time?
All right. So let me let you have a good night.
Where are you, Rakani?
I'm from Uganda, that is Africa.
Okay, yeah. So what time is it where you are?
25 minutes to 4 a.m.
Wow, middle of the night. Take it easy. I'll see you soon.
All right.
Okay,
I'll sign out. 5-finger salutes.
So good night.
All right, good night, you too. All right, guys, that has been Rich Sports, and he has joined us from his channel. You guys can go and subscribe to him and very many other people that really are going to start coming onto this live. But good news is that Manchester United has won 4-1, and we've done the ratings this time around with a man known as Richie Sports. You can go and check out his channel onto his YouTube channel, and he does 100% Manchester United content. I'm Rokani on United Social Television. Thank you guys for watching in. I sign out, and we'll be back tomorrow with the 7-6 things we learned from Manchester United 4, Istanbul Basaksehir 1. I'm Rokan, and I'm out.